What's up? What's up? Your boy Domuto. We are back with another video. Today we are watching Solid Saiyan. What if Piccolo possessed Goku Part 7 and 8? We let the last one on a real cliffhanger. Not cliffhanger, I guess, because Piccolo got into his own body. From remember, cause he was in Vegeta shit. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, we gotta get into it, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let go.
Piccolo begins his fight with Majin Buu. And Piccolo does have a lot more power, but he's still a little worn out. But thankfully, right before he killed Goku, he was able to get one last parting gift. He knew Goku had a Senzu Bean on him. He was part of Goku after all. So he made sure to take that from him, and he eats the Senzu Bean. He was saving it for a moment like this. He really needs it. And now the two could fight uninhibited. He notices Buu keeps regenerating, and it's pretty powerful too. Buu's regeneration seems way better than his, both in terms of potency and efficiency. He could actually stop Buu right now, but he lets Buu fight for a bit. He wants to study his moves. The easiest thing he could do is just Mufuba him. He suffered it himself, but he has bigger plans in mind. He even witnesses Buu's candy beam. You know what? That's actually a pretty good idea. He never thought of doing something like that. With his level of magic, he wonders if he could pull that off. He has his clothes beam, but what if he were to apply it to a person instead of their clothes? And turn them into something different? It should work as long as they're much weaker than him. He coaxes Buu into using it a few more times, dodging it easily and studying it further. Then he fires one back at Buu, or at least he makes it look like it's aimed at Buu. It launches right past him and hits Babidi. Too fast for Babidi to defend against. Babidi turns into a piece of candy, and Piccolo stretches an arm out, then eating the Babidi candy.
What the hell?
It doesn't taste very good, but the candy beam at least worked, and it has the intended side effect. He's able to gain all of Babidi's powers. Physically, this won't affect him at all, but in terms of magic, he grows far more powerful than he could have hoped for. Now he has everything: incredible physical power and incredible magic power. Buu is really the only one who could rival him, and the only obstacle in his way. So he uses Buu as a punching bag for a bit, just to test his newfound strength. As much as he hates to admit it, Babidi did outclass him in magic. But it makes sense. Piccolo only really had mental training, and didn't really have much to practice his magic with. He has grown significantly, but still, it's not to this level, not even close. He even creates shields strong enough to stop Buu's attacks. His magic and ki are skyrocketing, and he can use them both together. He's manipulating the battlefield around him. But then he gets an even better idea. Babidi has the power of mind control. So what if he were to try that with Buu? The issue is Buu is really hard to control, and this magic is really new to Piccolo. On his resume, he has possessed someone before, but with very different circumstances. He was thinking he could use Buu as a weapon for himself, but he has an even better idea. Instead of having Buu as a weapon, what if he just took Buu's power as well? He tries to think of a way to do this, because he doesn't really know the best way. The candy beam might not be potent enough. As for the Mufuba, if he does something like what Goku did to him, then maybe he can contain Buu, but that gives Buu the chance to escape. And Babidi's possession won't work on its own either. But what if he were to combine all the three? And even better, after this, he could use it to absorb Kami's power. It's pretty surprising that Kami hasn't sacrificed himself, and Piccolo wonders why. But that's good for him. It means he's alive and he can take Kami's power next. But first, he wants to see if this works on Buu. What he does is essentially make his own type of fusion. It takes all of his power and concentration, but he combines the principles of four things: the power of the candy beam to transfigure the
Piccolo just hacks,
the power
bro.
of Mufuba to seal them, the power of mind manipulation for even better control, and his innate ability to fuse with the Namekians. He takes what he knows from every one of these, on top of his boosted magic. Plus, the fact that Babidi even knows how to manipulate energy from other people. Buu starts to dematerialize. It takes all of Piccolo's concentration and power, but it ends up working. Nothing is left of Buu, and he can feel that Buu's essence is part of him now. Basically, Piccolo's made his own new version of power absorption. It took everything he had, but now he has this brand new technique. Essentially, what he has is Moro's energy absorption, except it's a lot slower, it takes a lot more focus, and it needs contact. He can't do it from a distance. But with this, he can essentially absorb the power of people. Buu was a pretty easy target to do this on. Not because he was weak, but because he was already basically innately suppressed. And Piccolo noticed that fact about him. There was a weird goodness to him. And just to make sure that doesn't bother him later, he expels that goodness from himself. And then he tries to test out the new power he has. He jumps up in the air, with such immense speed that he ends up leaving the atmosphere. He just wanted to jump. He looks around him, and realizes that he's breathing in space. That's also new to him. He does some laps around Earth, and then glares at one of the nearby planets.
What the hell?
A simple beam from his eyes is enough to blow it up, with the beam flying right through it and just traveling throughout space even further. Well, he's got to be careful with collateral damage now. But that barely took any of his power to do. He remembers how strong he was before when he was first unleashed. All those years ago when he first fought Goku. His power wasn't even a fraction of this. He wonders if he even needs Kami. Honestly, he doesn't know if he even needs more power. He'd rather just make it by like this. At some point it would be redundant for him to steal power. It might be a nice last resort, but he doesn't really need more ki. He just wanted Boo's abilities because of how potent they were, how interesting they were. He even tests out regeneration. He cuts his own arm off and then instantly regenerates it. He didn't even feel the pain from it, and it barely took any stamina to do. And then his severed arm regenerates a second copy of himself, sharing his same mind. So this is the type of power he has.
Oh, shit.
It's deserving of a new upgraded name. He's no longer just King Piccolo. He's Majin Emperor Piccolo. Because that's what he's going to be. He's going to be the next Emperor, the next Lord Frieza. He returns to Earth, teleporting to the World Tournament. He lets everyone know his new title, and the fact that he's already stopped any opposition. This time King Piccolo won't stop. He'll take over Earth once more and succeed fully this time. But they don't need to worry. He won't destroy it or them. He needs an empire after all, so everyone's going to live. Besides any sort of opposition, of course. This message from the World Tournament is broadcasted everywhere. Let's go to Otherworld for a bit. Goku, of course, is allowed to keep his body up here. Right when he died, he went across Snake Way and met with King Kai, who's been watching everything with Earth. It's good that Goku's back to his normal self, and it seems he has kept some of the powers that Piccolo had for him. But at his current level, he's definitely not going to be able to stop Piccolo,
Hell no.
especially with the fact that he just absorbed Majin Buu. So he spends his time up here thinking of what to do next. The Mafuba won't even work because Piccolo knows that. He knows the counters to it. Plus, Piccolo's so much stronger and faster than him that Goku doesn't even know if he'll be able to use it properly. But amidst his planning, someone else arrives on the planet. Surprisingly enough, Vegeta's here. He died when Piccolo incarnated because Piccolo forced his soul out to make sure that he wouldn't lose control. So that at least explains why he's dead, but how is he here? Well, Vegeta's not too sure either, but it looks like he was granted a body in Otherworld. It's probably due to the dire circumstances. But weirdly enough, something's different about Vegeta too. Personality-wise, he's still the same exact person. Like, nothing's changed about him mentally. But the reason he ended up here instead of Hell is interesting, and King Kai can instantly see why. It feels like Vegeta doesn't have evil within him anymore. Of course, he's considered a better person by now, but King Kai's talking about his innate presence. It's almost like Piccolo took all the evil with him. And that is pretty much what Piccolo did. To ensure no one else could take control of his body, just like he did with Buu, Piccolo has expunged any sort of good from himself. So not only did he separate Vegeta from him, but whatever goodness was from Vegeta. Essentially the inverse of what Goku did with pure Super Saiyan. King Kai wonders if there's some sort of bad within him. Like, he can't be completely good-hearted right now. Although, maybe he is. King Kai can't really tell. He was just surprised to see Vegeta here in the first place, and same for Goku. Weirdly enough, 2 more people appear on the planet, and they're completely unfamiliar. They also appear to be dead because they have halos on their head. But then it clicks with King Kai who these 2 are. And he immediately bows down to show respect and tells the other 2 to bow as well. It's the Grand Supreme Kai and the South Supreme Kai. Remember I mentioned the fact that Piccolo expunged any sort of good from him? Well, these 2 were part of Buu. These 2 also kind of held Buu back, which made the absorption a lot easier.
This would be on the King Kai's planet.
Piccolo wasn't going to have these 2
Supreme
as part
Kai's planet, my fault.
Well, that really changes things a lot. Speaking of Kais, what's happening on the sacred world of Kais? Gohan, Krillin, Ken, and Kami have been working on a solution too. They have no clue of what's happening on King Kai's planet at the moment. So, they're up to their own thing. Gohan has actually pulled out the Z-Sword, and he's going to try and train with it to kill Piccolo with. He promises that he will kill Piccolo himself. And Kami has actually considered sacrificing himself. That would have been an easy way to do that. Especially because after Piccolo became himself again, Vegeta died, so they wouldn't be killing Vegeta in the process too. There's nothing holding Kami back from doing this. Except, there's 2 big issues. So, had he done this earlier, Buu would have gone on a rampage. Of course, Piccolo's a huge threat too, but he was the only thing stopping Buu from going on a rampage here. But they have been keeping up with the situation, and if Kami tries to do this now, they don't know how it'll affect Buu. They know Buu is a part of Piccolo. And Kami worries that if he dies, Buu will be unleashed, and they will have no way of stopping him. There is a slight chance that Kami killing himself kills Piccolo, and that would take Buu with them, but the issue is they never tested this with Goku, and don't know the exact results. Before, Kami thought there were 2 outcomes. Both Piccolo and Goku die, or just Piccolo dies. They avoided it because of the former, but now he's worried about the latter. There's a chance that Buu would live and be freed once more. Maybe even Babidi too, because
That's better
he's
than
part of
Piccolo.
Albeit as candy. Especially because there's so many variables here. It's not like what happened with Goku and Piccolo before. Piccolo took over Vegeta's body the same way. But the method he used to get Buu and Babidi's power, that was completely different. And to make things even worse, if they do unleash Buu, he might be completely unbridled. Shin fears that he'll be completely evil. Because those other 2 Kais were a part of him this entire time, and Piccolo probably would have expunged them from himself.
Oh yeah,
Which
damn.
means they've been expunged from Buu. So if Buu were freed, he'd be Kid Buu. Although he's not exactly sure. Maybe those 2 Kais are still part of him. But again, there's too many variables to do this. It's way too risky. Although, it does make him wonder, what did happen to those 2 Kais? They're either a part of Piccolo now and can try and suppress him, or Piccolo eliminated them. So, where would they be now? Amidst this training and thinking, the Z-Sword eventually breaks, with Elder Kai being freed next. It's a bargain sale on Kais today. So before Shin and Kami can discuss that any further, they need to figure out what's going on with Elder Kai first. But then another Kai contacts them. It's King Kai. And he has a few big surprises. For one, Vegeta and Goku are on his planet. And 2, the South Supreme Kai and Grand Supreme Kai are back. They're dead, but also on his planet. The Grand Supreme Kai teleports everyone over to that planet. This is a very good turn because first of all, Goku and Vegeta are still here. Yeah, they're dead, but they're here. Especially for Vegeta because they weren't sure what his fate would be. Piccolo inadvertently helped him here. Goku would have been in Otherworld with his body regardless though. But now the other 2 Kais are here to help. Maybe with this crew they could finally end this. They'll find a way to stop Piccolo for good. And Kami also realizes that if Piccolo dies in the process, he will die for sure. The difference is, if they kill Piccolo, it also completely eliminates the threat of Majin Buu. If they kill Kami instead, that threat might still be there. Unfortunately for Kami, he realizes these might be his last few days, but he'll spend what little of his life is left defending Earth to no end. He is the Guardian after all. He needs to make sure Earth is fine,
step up,
even
man.
if that means him dying in the process, which is why he considered sacrificing himself in the first place. What's happening back on Earth though? By this point a day has passed. Piccolo starts to usher in his new empire. And despite his amazing power, he can't be in all these different places at once. Well, at least as he is now. He can split himself up into multiple copies. This isn't anything new for him, but thanks to Buu, he could do this so much more efficiently and effectively. But then, no one would know who the real King Piccolo is. That would be a problem. Thankfully, he has the perfect solution for this. It's something he's done long ago, but never really got to complete. He creates his sons once more. This time even making a few extra. But just as a little extra piece of security, not only are there more sons this time, but he's created one special one in particular. Someone who's going to serve as his right-hand man. His most powerful son, who also bears the same name as him. Obviously, Piccolo feels like he's fine now, but if he dies, then he'll be reincarnated through this son. So if by some chance they pull off a miracle and kill him, everything he has will be imparted onto his son, the newly born Piccolo Jr.
Oh, shit.
And while he will be Piccolo's strongest son, he's not going to be the strongest son at the moment. All of Piccolo's other sons are born fully grown. This one is born as an actual kid. Thankfully, he'll grow up pretty quickly, like in a few years' time. Maybe even less. And that's a small price to pay for the security. This son will be his heir. If something bad happens to Piccolo, he'll take over. And if nothing bad happens to Piccolo, which is likely the case, he'll have a powerful, smart, loyal right-hand man. Piccolo and his sons all usher in a brand new era for planet Earth. This is the first planet that's going to be part of his empire, although certainly not the last. Piccolo has much grander plans this time. He knows some things about Frieza, but he doesn't have the complete picture there. Although he knows he was a great emperor with many planets under his control, but that empire will look like a joke in comparison to what Piccolo has in mind. He'll rule every galaxy, the entire universe maybe. He can't wait to get started. And with that, we'll leave off here for now.
Okay.
What'd you guys think about this part?
Part 8,
Piccolo heads back out into
Part
space. He could survive here now, and he could travel here pretty quickly too. He admires Earth from a distance, his brand new empire. Or rather, the start of his new empire. He's going to be prospecting new places out in space to take over. Of course, they can't do it just yet, but he wants to spend some time out there. His sons have all of this under control. Plus, he also wants to spend some time tracking down the Supreme Kai. He knows there are other godly beings, and he wants to make sure they don't get in his way. Especially because they're working with other people that are working against Piccolo. Goku and Vegeta are dead, but he knows Gohan's still alive. Same for Krillin and Ten. Right now, they're not an issue for him, but if he leaves them unchecked, they'll probably grow considerably. He leaves Earth to his sons. Meanwhile, in the sacred world of Kais, Elder Kai performs the ultimate ritual on Gohan, while Goku and Vegeta spend time training together. Same for Krillin and Ten. They're told about Potara fusion as well, although this should be a last resort because according to Elder Kai, it'll be a permanent fusion. They have to plan their next move wisely, especially with how strong Piccolo is at the moment. But at the same time, they can't wait too long because King Piccolo is already taking over Earth. And from what the Kais could tell, he just went out into space for some reason. He's teleporting around with new powers that he's gained. He's adapting really quickly to the new abilities that he has, even creating new ones for himself. They need to stop this before it gets really bad. Piccolo's sons begin to enforce his rule on Earth. They're sent out individually with the task of taking over different parts of the world. By now it's pretty much already been taken over. But this way he could strengthen his rule. While he's tying up the loose ends with the people who are going to fight him, he's confident his son's going to sort out Earth for him. Another day passes. Around the world, armies are trying to rise up against King Piccolo's army. But despite how small King Piccolo's army is, it's just a couple of his sons, they overpower every world military. And once more, his sons go after world tournament contenders, making sure they get rid of any strong person on Earth. And of course, they're trying to find the Dragon Balls, but they'll need the Dragon Ball radar for that first. There's also some priority targets. Anyone who's friends with a Goku, or anyone who's related to him. Same for Vegeta. Goten and Trunks are on the top of the list for that reason. They should still be on Earth. And also people like Roshi and Yamcha are targeted. Thankfully, they're all safe on the lookout. Kami did briefly go back to Earth to bring them up there because he knew they'd be targeted. And Piccolo's sons do have a lot on their plate in the first place. So thankfully they never get to those people. At least not immediately. At some point, one of them gets to the lookout, Tambourine Jr. Of course, they knew of the lookout's existence. They just had to actually locate it first because it keeps moving around. Tambourine goes after Goten and Trunks. Quickly, they power up into Super Saiyan. He then takes a powerful blow to the head. He looks over to see Kami and Ten, with Kami then teleporting away. Tambourine is then attacked again, seeing that the person attacking him is Krillin. This isn't the same exact Tambourine as before, but of course this is going to be personal for Krillin regardless. He tells Ten to watch the others. He'll handle Tambourine. Another one of the sons arrives on the lookout, and Ten fights him. But Krillin makes pretty quick work of Tambourine.
Okay,
He's much
Krillin.
stronger than the other Tambourine he fought, but Krillin's also way stronger than he was back then. A single Kienzan decapitates him. And just for good measure, Krillin makes sure to launch a Kamehameha to kill him completely. It seemed even after being decapitated he was fine. They forgot. Piccolo has boost powers, and it seems that his sons got some of those as well.
Shit.
It's not as potent as what King Piccolo has, but still. They have way better regeneration and way more power. Krillin and Ten jump off the lookout, powering up to their fullest so all of King Piccolo's sons come towards them. They fly by Korin, get some Senzu beans, and then fly over to a nearby wasteland.
Okay,
They
Krillin
sense powers
TN.
approaching, but someone else then teleports to them. It's King Piccolo himself. He could sense everything happening here, and even while he's all the way out in space, he can communicate with his sons here. When he heard these two were back on Earth, he wanted to make sure he could deal with them himself. His sons might not have the power necessary to take them on, but he definitely does. They're nothing to him. Although he is pretty impressed because he thought his sons were more powerful. But it makes sense, he made them really quickly. Thankfully that won't be the case for Piccolo Jr., although he's definitely not ready to fight yet. Piccolo briefly fights Ten and Krillin, but the two also retreat really quickly, each performing a solar flare and getting away. The solar flare is so powerful that it even dulls Piccolo's key senses. They've definitely been training and working on their techniques. And when his vision returns, he sees 3 people instead. He doesn't know if he's seeing things, but then it fully comes back. He's not seeing things. Krillin and Ten are gone. Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan are
Shit.
there. And Piccolo laughs seeing them. He doesn't even know how they're here. It looks like the gods really want him dead. They're letting dead people come here to fight him. He thought he fully got rid of them, but it seems not. He even thought that anyone killed by him wouldn't pass on into the afterlife. It looks like the gods must have had a soft spot for these two in particular, because this is really out of the norm. Although it's too little too late, he doubts they've gotten much stronger. Well, Goku and Vegeta haven't grown much. But Gohan had just finished his ritual. He would have come with Krillin and Ten earlier, but he couldn't. He needed just a little bit of extra time. Thankfully, those two bought it for him. He's the first one to jump in, powering up fully into Ultimate, facing off against King Piccolo. He definitely has an impressive amount of power, but it's not going to be nearly enough to fight King Piccolo, especially as he is now.
Oh, wow.
That doesn't matter. That's why there's 3 of them. Goku and Vegeta enter the battle as well. For all 3 of them, this is personal. Mostly for Goku and Vegeta though. But even in a 3v1, Piccolo's advantaged. He has so many new abilities he could try and utilize here. First, he goes for the Candy Beam. He could just finish this quickly. He'd rather just have them out of his non-existent hair. He doesn't want to make the same mistakes as last time and be trapped forever somehow. He doubts it's even possible anymore, but he might as well not even entertain the risk. He wants them dead as quick as possible. But thankfully there is one thing working in their favor. All the abilities Piccolo just got are still new to him. He doesn't really know what he's capable of, nor does he know how to fully utilize those abilities. So they don't see the full extent of his power because of that. But he's definitely going to try and bring it out throughout battle, because he knows this is a downside. As the 3 of them fight, Goku suggests to Vegeta that they fuse. It's clear they're not going to win this, which is surprising because he thought at least with Gohan's new power, that would be enough. But they didn't realize Piccolo was this strong now. But Vegeta's not up for fusion, it's permanent. He doesn't want to do that. So Goku has to try and convince him. He could even try and fuse with Gohan, but Elder Kai made it sound like he should fuse with Vegeta instead. So he's really pushing for it. And thankfully at some point he does get through to Vegeta. So they put on the Batara earrings and begin the fusion. With Gohan watching on in amazement too because he didn't expect it to actually happen. But now he feels a lot more confident. With how much Elder Kai was hyping it up, it should be really helpful here. That boost that he gave Gohan surely was. And once the fusion completes, that seems to be exactly the case. A new warrior stands there in front of Piccolo. A fusion between Goku and Vegeta. Instantly he powers up into Super Saiyan. If Piccolo's gonna merge his power with someone else, it's only fair they do the same. Thankfully they're not badly injured at the moment either. Plus someone shouts at them from nearby. It's Krillin, tossing a Senzu to Gohan and one to Vegito. These were the last 2 Korin had left, so make good use of them. They each eat a Senzu bean and fully power up again. This is exactly why Piccolo wanted to kill them so quickly. He knew something like this would happen. They'd have some sort of trick up their sleeve.
Yes, sir.
Is he getting concerned? He doesn't really think so. And he could sense that his sons are falling one by one. This entire time, Ten and Krillin were killing the rest of his sons, who all were nearby because they came here to kill them in the first place. He won't let it happen like this. After all this time and effort, he finally got freed. He does have that one backup plan, but he doesn't want to rely on that.
With the
but
backup
he calms
plan?
himself. He won't have to rely on that. He'll win here. He doesn't need to fall back on Piccolo Jr. The final battle begins. Ultimate Gohan and Vegito versus Piccolo. And Vegito feels something weird about his power. Well, at least the Vegeta side of him does. He has access to Goku's pure Super Saiyan, and it's strange. Maybe this is the reason Goku went to the afterlife. He completely forgot about it. That purifying energy he has that might have just protected him against Piccolo. And as for Vegeta, he wasn't necessarily killed by Piccolo, his soul was just pushed out of his own body. Neither of them know the specifics behind it, but no point in questioning it now. They just feel like someone in the comments might be questioning that. Well, Vegeta wants them to know they got off on a technicality. And they got new bodies thanks to the gods helping them. But also thanks to that purifying energy, now Vegeta can use that in his favor against Piccolo. It'll help him be even stronger. The battle rages on. Piccolo creates a duplicate of himself, one to fight Gohan and one to fight Vegeta. Not only is Gohan much stronger, but he's just a better warrior in general. Piccolo never really paid much attention to him. But that's what happens when your father is Goku. And of course, Vegeta is a huge threat. Not only is his power insane, but he's the fusion of two great warriors. Piccolo is starting to feel the pressure. But he is still ahead. Well, at least at first. The more he's attacked by Vegito, the more he starts to feel weakened. He can't really put his finger on what he's feeling or why he's feeling it, but then it clicks with him. His control over Boo is growing dull. It's thanks to Vegito's purifying energy. Of course, this won't completely remove his power, but Vegito is slowly chipping away at the power that Boo had. Piccolo was very far ahead before, but now he's actually facing a challenge, and Piccolo starts to get desperate. He's not being cocky here because he knows what happened the last time he got cocky. He escaped and then got trapped again, and he knows what everyone here is capable of. He's not going to underestimate them, as much as he would love to, but he has one last thing to use as a last resort.
What you got?
This should guarantee his victory, regardless. Out of desperation, he tries to absorb power from Vegito. And it is working. Vegito's strength is being sapped and given to Piccolo. But he can't contain the energy. It's still that same purifying energy he had before. Piccolo thought Vegito was actively applying that to his attacks. What he doesn't realize is that it's just Vegito's regular energy because of Goku. The energy he's stealing is basically poison to him, and it heavily weakens him even further. Plus, with his control over Boo growing duller, energy absorption is a lot slower in the first place. He stops before it does too much damage. And this did actually take energy from Vegito too, to the point where Vegito completely defuses, which Vegito's really glad about, but also at the same time, they kind of panic over it too. They don't know the fusion's temporary, and Piccolo doing this really shortened the time of it. But Gohan still has power left. Like he said, he's going to be the one to finish off Piccolo. At the very least, he wants to help in the process. Piccolo tries to absorb energy from him, but that doesn't work. He can't do it in time. By now, he's lost so much power that he's basically on Gohan's level, maybe even a little below that. Gohan damages him even further. And Piccolo really doesn't know what to do at this point.
Finish him off, Gohan.
He's gonna die here, isn't he? That power from Vegito completely expelled Boo from him. He's gone. Boo's dead. And all that power went with him. There is one more way out of this. One way to prevent his death. He hates the idea of this, but this is better than certain death. He could seal himself into someone once more. The process shouldn't be too hard. Just apply the Bafuba to himself and use it on Goku or Gohan. Ideally the latter because he's still alive. A mysterious green energy begins surrounding him, and Piccolo starts to dematerialize. And Gohan stands ready. He expected this. They actually thought he might get this desperate. And as Piccolo's dematerializing, someone then punches right through him, launching through his torso, splitting him right in half. It's Goku, using the rest of his power and applying all his purifying energy to this punch. Gohan and Vegeta then each stick a hand out, lending the rest of their energy to him. He really needs it at this point. He thanks them. He didn't really have much left in the tank. He charges all of this energy into a purifying Kamehameha. Piccolo watches with a look of horror on his face, but it slowly turns into an accepting smile. Well done, Son Goku. He truly is a powerful specimen, but Piccolo knows this isn't the end for him. He's engulfed completely by the Kamehameha, destroyed and purified at the same time. King Piccolo is finally dead. Goku gives his thumbs up to Vegeta and Gohan. They finally did it. It's over. Although it is a bit sad because in the process, Kami died. Goku and Vegeta have to return to Otherworld for a bit, but they tell Gohan to go to Namek and get the Dragon Balls there. That way they could be revived. Plus, they could restore the damage that way too. But then they hear someone talking to them. It's the Grand Supreme Kai. He confirms that Piccolo's completely dead, and his soul is gone too. But strangely enough, Kami is still alive. He's completely fine. He even teleports back to Earth, just to look for himself. And even Shenron should still be intact. So if he's still alive, why? Unbeknownst to everyone else, Piccolo Jr. awaits.
Yes, sir.
And he's now lifelink with Kami. Plus, he inherited a lot of King Piccolo's power. It might not be as potent, but even with Boo gone, he should still retain some of that. That's why at the last moment, Piccolo wasn't really that concerned. He doesn't like that he had to rely on that, but he had that backup plan for a reason. And with that, we'll leave off here for now. What'd you guys think about this part?
Okay.
What's gonna happen next?
Fire. Yeah, that was fire. That was fire. That was fire. Shout out to Solid Saiyan, because, okay. King Piccolo had to took that L, but I forgot Piccolo Jr. Okay. this is some good storytelling right here. I like this story right here. That's one of my. It's probably one of my favorite ones you've done so far, man. But yeah, man, check out the last chapter right here. Check out the other video, like right here, and I'll catch y'all next time, man. Peace.